Boy. This hay fever is killing me. Can't stop rubbing them. And knowing that's what makes it worse. It's like having poison ivy or poison oak. Don't scratch it, don't scratch it. But it just, and I'm allergic to poison ivy and poison oak. When I get it bad. When I was a child, during the summer, I'd usually get it. And it'd be bad. And my grandmama, the Seventh-day Adventist, she would take me to this guy. Supposedly, they would say he can make it go away. Yeah, it went away all right. It usually does. But you go to this guy and he rubs his hands over it. And then, here's the kicker. Don't scratch it. It's going to get well. Well, yeah, it normally will get well, but when it gets well, they say, "Oh, man, Bowers, he made it go away." Yeah, in about a month it went away. He didn't have nothing to do with it. What a crock that was. Yeah. I've been thinking, I'm still confined to the house because for some cotton picking reason, I got the sniffles too. That goes along with that hay fever. That battery charger won't be here till the 6th of May. I don't understand that. And the hat with the thing on it to hold the camera, it won't be here till the 6th of May. I have a sneaking idea. Now, I don't know. The dog food's here that came. I ordered dog food with that too, and it came. But anyhow, hey Jay. Jay.
Coming. Yeah.
Bring me one of my drinks out of the freezer door. I have a lot of memories of my grandmama and granddaddy's old house and farm. And there's only, let's see, it's Barbara,
I'm using a keyboard.
Aunt Dorothy. Well, I didn't want that one. He brought me this one. There's only about 3 or 4 of us that has a living memory of that place. fond memories of it. Some of the memories weren't so good. But, you know, I can remember where every big oak tree was. I can remember where the hand pump for the well was at. I can remember that Granddaddy's, it wasn't a garage, it was just a shed. I remember that's where he kept his tools and stuff. He was a carpenter too. He built a lot of stuff. He built that house. First, when he first built it, it was just a single floor. Then when he got that built a couple years later, he built an upstairs to it. More of those with some steep stairs. But, man, I remember when Granddaddy died. Grandma died in 53. Granddaddy died in 60-something. But after Grandma died, he got married again. I think her name was Ethel. Something like that. I didn't like her. Didn't nobody really like her. But she was allowed to live there till she died. She thought she was going to get the property. Boy, she had another thing coming. But, when she died, there was 9 kids still living. All had a share of it. And it would be easier to sell it if the house and shed and stuff wasn't there. So they allowed the fire department to come in there and set it on fire and practice putting the fire out. I wish I'd had enough sense to go in there and take some souvenirs and stuff, you know, maybe part of one of the stair steps or something like that, you know, just something. But I didn't. But set it on fire, burn it down. Now you can't even tell there was anything like that there. It's a major store, you know, like a big gas station with all different pumps, you know, and stuff. Sitting there, and the roads paved and all that stuff. It used to be a dirt road. Totally different. You wouldn't even, I hadn't seen it since all that went in there. I've been wanting to go by and just take a look. But I probably couldn't even tell where the house sat. But I've been thinking for a few years now. I would like to make a scale model on a square board or something, you know, like a 3 foot, like about a 2 foot by 2 foot board with miniature house on it. The trees, the artificial trees have to be and all that stuff, and just make it to scale and where the toilet was, you know, didn't have a bathroom inside. Well, when they decided to burn it down, it already had a bathroom in it. Granddaddy, I remember having to go out to that to the well, to the pump, and it'd be froze. It's so cold. And you'd have to get some boiling water and go out there and pour over that pump to unfreeze that sucker so that you could get it to pump water. I sure remember that. Norman Rockwell made a painting one time of a child out there at the well trying to pour hot water over to get it to melt. But that wasn't no pipe dream. That was real life back then. But that house was no air conditioning. There was a wood stove downstairs in the kitchen, and there was a wood stove in the dining room. Bedrooms didn't have any heat. And upstairs there was no heat, no air, no nothing. And that thing, when Granddaddy built that, you know how you look up in the attic, see all the trusses and stuff up there holding up the roof? Well, there wasn't no attic, it was never closed in up there, but you could see the gables and everything up there, and the tin over that, no insulation. And when it rained, it was loud. My goodness, it was loud. And where the eave of the house come down to the wall come up so high, but then the eave, you had a little space there, you could actually, if you peeked good, you could see daylight through them eaves of that roof. But man, it was hotter than blazes there in the summertime, and colder than you know what in the wintertime. And my aunt used to say, yeah, it was just hotter than Hades and colder than hell in the wintertime. But I never got cold up there in the wintertime at night. You know, we was covered up, buried down in that feather mattress and feather quilts and all that stuff. It was warm. You didn't want to get up in the morning, I'll tell you that. If you had to go to the bathroom, we call them slop jars. It's a metal can, white can chamber pot. You peed in that pot or pooped in that pot. And man, I hated it when sometimes they made you rotate jobs there. One day you do it, next day somebody else do it. Take that chamber pot out the toilet and empty it. Woo! That smelled so bad. And that's the same house that instead of going over to open that chamber pot and peeing in it, I went to the window and I peed out the window. Unbeknown to me. Well, I knew there was a door down there, but right down below that window downstairs, there's a door coming off of that dining room. And Grandma, Grandma, oh my God. she she stepped out that door and was squatting down outside that door, peeing on the ground. About the same time I started peeing out the window, and I peed all over Grandma. And boy, she got so mad, and she come back in, and she's running up the stairs. She was gonna tear my little butt up, but my mama stopped her. Mama stopped her, and Mama said, "Well, why wasn't I peeing in the pot?" I didn't want to smell it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Grandma was peeing. And Grandma, boy, I'll tell you what, she was a pistol, man. We'd be walking down the side of the road, like maybe walking to town or something. And if she had to pee, she'd walk over just to the side of the road and get over in the weeds and kind of she wore long dresses, and she'd pull that dress up a little bit, spread them legs, and let the golden showers come down. I ain't never forgot that. Those women in that film, they weren't modest. You know, I had an aunt. I'm telling you what's true. Something she did affected me for a long time after that. She come to visit us, and we was at something called Ocean View or Virginia Beach, at the beach. And we was in this hotel room, changing into bathing suits. Well, I'll tell you who it was. It was Rosa May. And she just come in the room and got and stripped buck ass naked. And my God, she had the biggest boobs I had ever seen in my life. They scared me. They scared me. And you know what? For a long time, I shied away from all these people men talking about the boobs on that one. I wasn't a bit interested in them big boobs. No, sir, I didn't. I guess I got over it. But I mean, they were humongous. I never seen boobs that big before. I still ain't never seen none of that big before. But, oh my goodness, Rosa May was, Rosa May never had any kids of her own. She finally wound up adopting a girl, which was a big mistake. And she had George, my brother George, for about 7 or 8 years. She was going to adopt George. But George, one day, all of a sudden, he had saved up him some money. Not much, I don't guess. And he run away. He hit the road, and he was 14. He was 14. But I'll give him credit. When he left, I forget what town. It was a town in Virginia that he wound up in. he was living in a boarding house and working a job, and he didn't show back up till he was 16. And then he didn't go to Rosa May. He went stayed with Daddy. George said they worked him like a slave, but it was hard work on them farms. And if you was a kid there, you worked. You worked, yes sir, you did. But he took care of himself for 2 years. And personally, I guess in later years he probably wished he'd have stayed. Probably. I wonder if I can open this thing here without. I didn't know I was going to do that. My hospital gown. Using it for a towel. But yeah, I think George wished he'd have stayed. I wish he was still alive. That was him and Joe was my favorite brothers. Michael, not so much. I wish he had lived. I sure miss him. The last time I seen him was not this just past Christmas, but the one before that. And I was in rehab when he come to see me, and I still got a hat that he'd give me because I complained I couldn't find my hat. And he come to see me. He used to come see me a lot. But no, I want to build me a scale model of that old home place. I got a couple of drawings of it that somebody did. It's fairly accurate, but it's not as accurate as they think it was because they had a lot of stuff in the wrong place. But spent many a summer week there or something, you know, just. And most of the time, all I did was eat breakfast and take off across the field to the cotton field over to Frank and Lewis's house, Aunt Mamie's house. And there I'd eat lunch and I'd eat supper. And then I'd walk across that field, which was about 2 football lengths from Grandma's house. Diagonal, I'd walk across that field, and that field was either no, it was peanuts. There's peanuts planted in that field, and it'd be pitch dark. And Aunt Mamie, she didn't have electricity. She used oil lamps, and she set that oil lamp in the window when I went out the door, and I could look back and see that light, that oil lamp in the window. Couldn't see the house, but I could see the window. And she'd leave it there. She thought I got to Grandma, and then she'd take it down, turn it off. And that house, he was about a mile from the city limits. And if he was right there at the city limits, he could get water. He could be hooked up to running water. So he got to talking to him. They said if you'll build you a water line from your house to the city limits, we'll hook you up to city water. And that daggone that man didn't do it. I mean, he was digging a line down dirt, through some fields and stuff, about a mile, putting that water line in. And that's the only time he ever had city water there is when he done that. He was glad to get rid of that well. And then the next thing on the list was build a toilet, an inside bathroom. Personally, I preferred the toilet. I don't like that bathroom. But that's been, I guess Granddaddy died in about 68, something like that. No, it was about maybe 63. But I sure wish I could go in that door again. Anyhow, folks, that's my story. And I'm sticking to it. And I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I got to get over to the VA and raise Cain. But anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'll see you in the next one. See you, folks. And thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you will. And leave comments. And please remember, I'm needing people to start sending me dirt from some of these other states. I appreciate it so much. See ya. GoPro, stop recording.